Folks, welcome back. Back out fishing again, doing another bit of conger fishing with Carl and another friend of ours out of the fishing club. So before I get into it, I'm going to run through quickly the tackle that I use, the setup I use, the rod rails I use, and the traces that I use. A lot of people have been asking when I'm fishing, what I'm using, what I'm not using, and I don't know, maybe I took it for granted that people watching the channel would be fishing already, but there's probably loads of new people getting into fishing, people who haven't fished in years and getting back into it, or people just looking for little tips, because we all kind of fish differently and do things differently. Something that I'm finding out with the match fishing, I never match fished before, started last year, and every time I go fishing and look at how other people are doing things, I always pick up a few tips. So from kind of here on out, I'm going to try and do more, I suppose not tutorial, but I'm going to explain more what I'm using, how I'm using it, even baiting up hooks, the trace I'm using, maybe why I'm using them. But yeah, so if anyone going forward has kind of any suggestions or questions or anything like that, pop them down in the comments. I try and read them all and try and get back to you, and I appreciate all the support. I've had a good few new subscribers to the channel, so thanks very much, and to the people that have subscribed a while, it's brilliant that you're still hanging around and watching the videos and liking them, so you know, thanks very much for that. So what do I use for conger fishing? I suppose, where do I go conger fishing first? So a lot of conger fishing that I do is off piers, my local piers, harbours, stuff like that, and I'm not casting. I'm literally just flicking the weight out or down the edge of a pier, finding a hole between two rocks or boulders or anything like that, so don't need to cast. So I use a boat rod, and this one here that I have is the Penn Regiment 2, I think it is. Yeah, Penn Regiment 2, bought for me as a Christmas present by my wife, which I really appreciate. It's a 20 to 60 pound class, so it's very strong. It's very short. I think is it 6 foot? I don't know what foot it is, but it's nice and powerful and short, lightweight, does the job perfect. So I couldn't ask for a better fish. I didn't conger fish before. A friend of mine took me conger fishing, showed me his setup, and this is what he used, and I found it great. I know loads of people use bigger rods and reels and the rods I suppose that they'd normally use for fishing on a beach. Maybe it's because they need a bit of distance for casting, but we don't where we fish, or well, not the spots I fish, we don't. So that costs a bit of money, but you don't need to spend 100 quid on a boat rod for fishing. You know, during the summer now when I'm out fishing off the boats, because I plan on doing a bit of that, I'll use that rod as well. So you know, it's not just used for conger fishing. But when I got into conger fishing first, I was using this boat rod, you know, Shakespeare. It's a Shakespeare Viking. I don't know how old it is, but I think I got it off my dad, so I don't know how long he had it or where he got it. But again, it's a 30 pound class rod, and it's 6 foot. So this, yeah, so the Penn is probably 7.5 foot. You can see there where rings, I don't know if you can see it, I'm in the shed so it's a bit difficult, but you see where rings had fallen off, and we'll put them back on with tape and everything, just to keep me going. So again, that cost me nothing, it was given to me. So you know, if you're thinking about doing a bit of conger fishing and you're going, I only have a light rod and reel and I don't have the stuff that I have here, get onto the websites, get onto anywhere that sells second-hand tackle and bits and pieces and have a look around. You know, you might pick one of them up pretty cheap, because it doesn't need to, you don't need to spend a fortune. And that brings me on to my next thing. So I use a multiplier on the boat rod. Now I hope you can see that this reel is the cheapest of the cheap that you can buy. You would not want to be using this for any type of casting. It's a real cheap and cheerful boat rod. In fact, I bought this brand new, but I bought it on can't remember where I bought it on. I bought it on the websites over here, or not even a website, it's like a second-hand website for selling bits and pieces over here in Dublin, and it was 25 or 30 euro I think, so really cheap. But again, don't need to cast. All I need to do is reel it in, make sure that the clutch doesn't slip on it, which it doesn't, which is great. So 150 pound braid on it. That's 150 pound multicolored braid. Go onto any of the websites, type it in. Loads of the Chinese websites sell this stuff. That's where I bought that. It was cheap. It was £150. It's very strong. You won't need it for casting, so don't be worrying about that. The most important thing with this multiplier, because I have other multipliers here, as you know, and I use them for casting. The ratchet, this little button here is ratchet. So you turn it on, makes that noise, right? So when I cast out and drop my rod down, I find the spot I want to fish. I tighten the line back up. I flick the bail arm off, or I flick the whatchamacallit off. So the spool now is free spoon, and I click this little button on. So the ratchet is on. That's what I call it. It's a ratchet. So the ratchet is on. So the line is under tension, down to the weight. It's all tightened up. So anything that touches that, it'll make this noise. And that's what you're waiting for. The spool itself, because it's on the ratchet, it won't spool off on you. Whereas if you don't have the little flick on, it does spool off. It's very easy and free flowing. When you have that on, it's a little ratchet, holds it on so it doesn't get pulled off. The only way that's going to move now is if something touches the line. So when you're going for one of them, that's the reason I got this. It was cheap, and I knew that I'll use it for a couple of years, and when it falls apart or breaks, I'll just go out and buy a new one. You can get into the side and open up, but there's no point. There's not much in there. So when it breaks, falls apart, I'll go and buy the same one again, probably off the same person, for 20 or 30 euros, and it'll do me. I have this 3 years now, I think, and it's still going strong. So take it home, wash it. Doesn't, you know, it's perfect. So you don't need to spend a huge amount of money. So literally when I started conger fishing, I had that white boat rod. Again, I got it for nothing. And I had this reel. I went out and bought it for 30 quid. So the other, and I bought the line, the braid line for, I think it was, I got that for about 15 quid. So for 45 quid I was up and running with a substantial setup that when I caught congers I wasn't going to lose them. And that's the main thing, because you don't want to catch a conger, have your line snap, and they're swimming around with a length of line in them with the hook. The hooks will rust, but when you're going fishing for them, any type of fish, you know, have that in mind for the welfare of the fish. Make sure you have the good enough lines and rods and reels that you're actually going to get them up onto the pier, the harbour, the beach, wherever you're fishing. That's what you could aim for. The other thing when you're fishing off piers, really important again, is a drop net. So I have this one, Tronics Pro one. There's loads of different models out there. This is the one that they had in the shop and was readily available. The good thing that I like about it is it folds in half, so you can open out hinged. And that's been out now a good few times over the last 2 years, and the hinges are still working fine, so you haven't seized up. Wash them when you get them home, and jobs are good. That's the rod. So I use a boat rod, cheap reel, have the drop net. And in fairness, the lads that I go fishing with have drop nets as well, so if I forget mine, they'll bring theirs. So that brings you on then to the traces, I suppose. What do we use? So we have the braid going straight down, no shock leader on it. It's £150, and I'm not casting, so no need for one. So this is my trace here. So this is a 6/0 hook. You can go 8/0. These are just ones I had, so I used the 6/0. I mean, conger's mouth is gonna take it. 8/0 hook, no problem. 6/0 hook, no problem. The mono that's on it is £100 mono, and I won't use that lighter than that for the hook length. £150. £150 is probably perfect. They didn't have any, I don't think it was in the shop, but £100 mono. Yeah, it's £100 extra heavy duty mono. I'll show you the actual spool that came out. It was Rovex 10X. Now, I mean, I'm not sponsored by anyone, but when I went in, it looked good. The lads in the shop were telling me that it's good stuff. Kind of told them what I wanted it for, and yeah, they said no, Jesus, that's more than adequate. So that's why we went with that. So I have a swivel. Yeah, so that's the swivel I use, and that's £100 swivel, £150. I actually think it's £150 swivel. Now, I do use smaller swivels than that. That's a big barrel swivel. It's easy to tie knots and all in it, but I actually prefer to use these smaller ones. You'll see it there. I know you probably It's very small compared to that big barrel swivel. You know. Why do I like using that one? I'm giving myself a headache and trying to tie knots in it. I'll tell you why. I dropped these down a couple of times. Crabs have come in. They'll take your bait. So this is there. This is floating about. It's on the ground with a mackerel on it, whatever. It's on top of it. And this has happened. Hooked in. And then you're not fishing. So with the smaller swivel, that doesn't happen. I've never had it happen with the smaller swivel. With this one I have. They'll take it. This will come in wrapped around. This is caught under here. So I tend to go for the smaller swivels now. That one is still £150 even though it's that small and probably costs more than this one. But it's well worth it. So then I have £15 mono. That's it there, it's in red. It's just the stuff I had lying around, and that goes down to my weight, and you can use that for a weight. I got these a lot of weights that are made up, so I have a big bucket of them. And down to that, you can tie a knot in this again if you want. So the reason for that is if that gets stuck when they're on the floor, or sometimes when you're reeling back up, depending on where you are, this will get stuck in something and you'll pull it and it'll just snap that. You won't lose the trace, your hook, and again you won't lose a fish. So yeah, you can even tie a knot in that to make it even a bit weaker. But £15 with the £50 rod that I have, that class rod, with the £150 braid and this £100 to £150 hook snout, you can absolutely muller it when you're pulling it up out of the oak when it gets snagged, and that'll snap every time. The other thing I will say to you as well is when you're tying up these, you'll see there's the weight and the hook length is down here. Keep the weight up high. That could even go up there a bit. Keep it up high. You have plenty of it. So when this hits the floor, boom, you want this hook to stay away from the weight. I found before where I've just tied on the hook length and tied on the weight, and they're fairly similar level, so they'd be kind of like that, and you're dropping it down. These sometimes can land close enough together, and when a conger comes up to hit it, they don't go near it. And I've actually shortened the hook length so it's like that, so there's plenty of room between the two of them, and 2 casts later, conger on. So that's something I found myself. I don't know about anyone else, but that's something that I've definitely found myself. Yeah, so I think that's it. So that's the rod I'm using at the moment, that's the reel I'm using at the moment. And again, you know, again, you don't need to go mad. I'm sure you could use a fixed spool on them. I just prefer that multiplier with the ratchet on it. Makes a lot of sound, makes a lot of noise, so if you're talking or videoing or whatever you're doing and something touches it, because generally what happens is the conger will come along and he'll hit the bait, he'll nose at it, he'll come up underneath it, smell it. I don't think they're the best eyesight. Maybe they do, someone will correct me, but I find typically what happens is they'll hit the bait, they'll have a pull at it, it'll pull the rod down, they let it go, it bounces back up. That's when you hear your ratchet. You pick your rod up, you wait, you hold it, you'll feel the conger pulling down on it again, it might let go of it, and you're waiting for the conger to pull the rod down, pull it, and not let go. As soon as he does that, you lift into it, and do not drop the tip of your rod. The conger is coming out of a hole, so half his body or 3/4 of his body is in that hole. He's coming up, he's going to grab the bait, and he's going to go straight backwards with it, because the congers can swim backwards. And when they do that, if they get tied in, they can go into something and they can loop around on themselves, and you're never getting them out. So don't drop the tip of the rod when you're lifting into a conger. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. It'll trash 555, pull it down a bit, leave it up, and reel in a bit with it kept up. And a lot of people, including myself, have a tendency when they're reeling in, they'll tip down for a bit of leverage, pull it back up. Don't do that when you're conger fishing. Keep the tip up and reel and fight the fish, let it come up, and you'll get them up. I've had 21 pound conger reel off here locally, and that's what I done. Once I kept the tip up, I was able to get him out and get him up and get the net down and get him up onto the pier. So yeah, so we'll get into the video now, and I hope you enjoy it. And we'll be back out fishing again this week, so I'll have another video coming up. I'm going to try and get 1 or 2 out a week if I can, and then hopefully in the summer months with the bass fishing, I have a chest mount and I have a rig there that I can put the GoPro on and I can fish away to my heart's content with the plugging and spinning for the bass. So looking forward to that now myself. Grant, again, thanks very much for all the support, folks, and hope you enjoyed the video. Wait. Move on. You stuck?
Stuck.
No, we got him. Got him up. Is he on it?
Yeah.
Oh, he has him. Has him. Got him up. That's it. Don't drop the tip, Lee. Just keep the tip there. Yeah, try. Don't drop the tip down. That's it.
Stay on him. Just stay on him.
As soon as he gets up to the top, then let us know. And we'll. You got the net?
I need to get away on it.
I might drop down.
I have it there at the water.
Have it right.
Yeah, right there. Here, throw it right in the end.
Oh, that's slippy.
Yeah, be careful.
That is slippy.
Oh, yeah. We have it. Didn't even bring it back, man.
Hold on, yeah, hold on.
Grab mine, it's a bit more weight if you want to try that.
We got the normal big station. There now, pull them over.
Hold on, just bring it in this one.
There, pull them over. Keep pulling them over. Now lift. Yeah, you have them. You have them. Right,
Oh,
see this
that
one?
one. Let me tell you.
You have them.
Oh, yeah, fucker.
It's a big old net that is, mate. It's a half decent one.
Carl,
What?
use a hand dragging this over.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, your net is kind of collapsing in on itself. I don't want to flip it out. Yeah, it won't come out.
Watch that thing crack off, mate.
Don't break tip your rod.
Watch.
Oh, that's a nice one.
He's a lovely one. He's a chunk. He's
That's
about
a
20.
chunk, that one. Oh, is he 20?
Definitely about 20.
That's a chunk. That's a chunk of a fish.
Get the steel bar.
Fucking live on it on plastic.
It's a big old fish.
Scales, round go scales.
Oh, don't tell me you didn't bring your weighing scales, Carl. Please don't tell me that.
I don't know, I don't think I have it.
Oh no.
Oh, that is the weight of this lad.
Oh.
Right there.
So first drop down for Carl and he missed the conger. First drop down for Lee beside him. First drop down for Lee beside him and he's caught a lump of a conger. Oh, mackerel. Nice and long. Nice cracker of a fish in fairness. We gotta Lee to hold him up now and we'll get him on video.
For this lad. What you call a beast.
That is a lump of a fish.
Here, Lee.
Absolute lump of a fish.
See there?
You see, Carl is just
Right
showing
up
him
in
where to.
Right up in there.
That's
Hold
it.
him now.
He wiggle like fish.
Wiggle, just hold him firm, man.
That's it. That's an absolute stonker of a fish, that one.
Good
That's
lad,
a
Lee.
cracker.
Right there, get a picture for Lee, guys.
Where's your phone?
In me right pocket.
Oh, he's another shot.
Come here.
Just stand there, don't.
Stay there.
So that's typical. We've all forgotten our mats. I've forgotten our mats on the way. These are the scales. Carl has one. He usually didn't bring it. Right, I'll show you how we use. I bait up this hook here. It's a little bit funny, isn't that light? I'll turn it down around notch. Yeah, so you see there's a move. I'm going to use a whiting this time. So we take the hook, we go through mouth, then through the top, and we pull the hook all the way up through. And then what we do is we pull it through, tug that way, run it back in this way, and pierce it back through the body. That's what you're looking at. Pull it through. And then you have. So look at that. And then I take and bait elastic. And I'll wrap it around a few times because there is going to be loads of crabs down there. There is lobsters down there. So wrap it up. It also helps to keep the hook point from lying flat on the side of the fish. What do I mean by lying flat? So where it's up there like that, you can see, can you see? Yeah. Don't want that lying up against the fish down here, so it's when a fish grabs it, it hits it. That's the bait. Right, we'll get this one back down and see if this whiting head makes a difference. Hopefully it'll be coming back to me into a conger. So again with the conger fishing, you're looking for the deep holes right in at the edge of the pier, just under them. That's what I've done here. I found one here. Hopefully we'll get a few fish out of it. Lee's after hooking into it. He's had two already, so you've seen one of his big ones, but he's after hooking into another one there. It's after pulling them back into whatever hole the conger came out of. So hopefully that swims out and we get a third one up onto the deck here. Again, I've come over this side. And I found a deep enough hole down here, and hopefully there's a big conger in it. Oh, this man is on, is he? Oh, I knew he'd miss it! I knew he'd miss it!
I had him.
You didn't, you missed it!
I fucking didn't, Dad.
Yeah, they're missing it again. Here. I have to come over here. I don't want Carl to hear me. Just after missing another one. Here he is over there. So that's 2 takes for Carl. Lee managed to land one, but I've had nothing. But I've sussed out another spot over here. So I know there's a big hole down here. And I know that because I've dropped my weight down a couple of times and felt around and felt where it drops down, and that is where I'm going to drop my bait in and see if I can nab a conger. Right, hopefully Carl managed to catch one.